Mr. Don Susantha Katugampala, Accredited Immigration Law Specialist and a lawyer and founder of FAIRFIELDS Lawyers, Melbourne. Ayubowan.
Ayubowan.
Well, Mr. Katugampala, I want to ask you this question. When you are in Australia, you may ask for permanent residencies or you change your visa into a different category. There may be chances your visa may get refused. So in that case, do we need to pack the bag and go home, or can we appeal?
You don't pack the bags and go home. Of course you can appeal. But it's a complex legislation, migration law, and you have very tight timelines, deadlines, to be able to lodge a valid appeal. If you lodge a valid appeal to the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, AAT, then you'll be able to secure your visa application up to the appeal. So your application is not finally determined until you exhausted your appeal rights. If you are in Australia, if your visa is refused, of course you have the right to appeal to the Administrative Appeals Tribunal against your refusal. Then your case is heard independently. The tribunal is an independent body from the Department of Home Affairs, although it's appointed by the same minister. The tribunal will look at your case with fresh eyes. You'll have a chance to present your case to the tribunal. But you need to make sure that you secure your appeal rights on time. That is absolutely important. And if you secure your appeal rights, then you need to communicate with the tribunal. You need to present your documents to the tribunal for their consideration. The tribunal can exercise their power and set aside the decision by the Home Affairs, the Department of Immigration, if you still meet the legislation. The law applicable is the same. So the tribunal is not able to apply a different law. So the legal framework applicable to your visa application stays the same regardless whether you are at the tribunal or the department or the courts. And then if you have met your requirements, then the tribunal can set aside the decision and give you a positive outcome and direct your matter to the department to grant your visa. That's the power of the tribunal. Again, if you do not meet the law, but you have a genuine case, the tribunal has the power to make a recommendation to the minister to intervene. And under Section 351 or Section 417 of the Migration Act, the tribunal can make a recommendation to the minister for ministerial intervention. And if you have an exceptional case, and if you have no other visa options, you can seek ministerial intervention. That's an option at this appeal stage. At the same time, the tribunal also failed to make the right decision in your case, then you have the right to appeal to the court or jurisdictional error in your case by the tribunal, then you can appeal to the courts. The courts can set aside the decision by the tribunal and remit your matter back to the tribunal. However, the courts or the tribunals cannot give you the visa. They can only remit the matter to the department to give you a visa. Granting the visa is purely with the Department of Home Affairs. So if you apply for a visa, then if you provided right information, if you got your application right, and then you meet the legislative requirements, you are likely to get your visa. You don't need to appeal. So that's important that you get the right advice and right legal advice at the first instance. You don't go to the appeal because the appeal might take much longer time. At the same time, you may not meet the legal requirements to be granted a visa. Then you need to exhaust the appeal rights. So in Australia, then the appeal system is there. If you have a refusal, you don't not give up your case. You don't pack up your bags and go home. You can appeal your matter, the tribunal or the courts, and you can remain in Australia on a bridging visa, most probably with work rights, in order to exhaust your appeal rights. And you can have a fair decision at the end. And to do that, you need to get good advice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Don. Susantha Katugampala, lawyer, accredited immigration law specialist and founder of Fairfields Lawyers, Melbourne. Looking forward to have you once again.